All right, it's Fridays with Fidelman once again. Welcome to Fridays with Fidelman. I'm Cheryl Fidelman, life coach, trauma healer, and writer. Happy Friday. First Friday in April 2020. Today's topic on Fridays with Fidelman is why socialize? Why? What's the point? What do we get out of it? Why do we do it? Why do we desire it? Why do we not desire it? It's an interesting time to bring up this point during this global time of pandemia quarantine. But I think that some of these thoughts will live beyond this quarantine time or apply to life socialization in general. So as a trauma healer, and as I've said many times in my videos, I believe that codependence is the most obvious way in which we demonstrate our unhealed trauma in relationship with others and in relationship with ourselves. So I work with people who identify as codependent. And when it comes to socializing, our codependence can be triggered into loudspeaker into high speed, and our codependence could be what's running the show for us socially, and we may or may not even notice it. And so we're quarantining right now because of this global virus, and there's a lot of webinars and a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of people generating connection over the internet. There's what do you call them? Like cyber happy hours and cyber hangouts and cyber lunch meetings and dinner dates and dinner meetings and all of this stuff. But why? Why are we generating connection? Why are we generating socializing? And for some of us and for my clients, what I've noticed is that some of it is easier to socialize over the internet or over this video. We can see each other visually over the video, but it feels a little bit safer either to be in the comfort of our own home, or it's easier to be distracted when there's a screen in between you. It's easier to not get eye contact when there's a screen in between us. And sometimes there's more freedom to be if we're not pressured with getting eye contact, or we're not pressured with keeping the conversation going, which with this, internet communication, there's some people have given me the reflection that they feel less pressure to keep the conversation going, right? Because they can walk around their house and they can easier to be distracted because that other person is in their own home with their own distractions. So their comfort doesn't feel so much our responsibility because of this separation of the computer screens. So, so that being said, why are we doing it? Why are we generating connection? Why are we generating socializing? When, for a lot of us, when we socialize, it's our default that comes to the forefront. It's our default psychology, which is, in my work, is the voice of your youngest unhealed trauma. And also in socializing, the role we played in the class system in elementary, junior high, and high school comes to the forefront. The way that we deal with and manage and relate with other people, like where is our spot, right? Like we had our spot in our groups growing up, and sometimes we just automatically land in that spot again. Like, okay, where's my seat at this table? Okay, here it is. In other words, where does my personality fit in with this tribe? And so we will just regress to an earlier role that worked for us when we were younger. And then also in socializing, what could be the unconscious default at play when we're socializing is that we relate to a group of people as if they're our family. not consciously, but we just, here's a pack, and then we have the pack, our first initial pack that we were raised in. And then, so we had a role in that pack, and then and we related to people in that pack, our family, our guardians, our sisters, our family, our extended family. We related to them in a particular way. They related to us in a particular way. We formulated our identity inside of that pack. And so then when we get into a new pack, we relate to them as if they're our family. We relate to them as if we relate to other people in the pack as if they are seeing us and understanding us to the extent to which our family does. And then we see and understand others the extent to which we were able to see and understand our family. So in other words, which is why I call my practice the attunement practice. We will naturally, automatically, unconsciously attune to other people the way, at the frequency and level to which we were used to being attuned to as children. We attune to others to the extent and frequency that we attune to others as children. And also, when we're with people, we attune to ourselves, the extent to which we attune to ourselves as children. So in other words, as codependents, those of us who really weren't attuned to, validated, noticed, we don't attune to ourselves when we're socializing, because we were used to shutting down our experience in order to have some sense of belonging in the pack. So this, for a lot of us, when socializing, is automatic. We shut down our own experience. We're not connected to our own experience. It's like we're not even having an experience in order to occur as if we belong with the pack. And then socializing also often begs the question, or triggers the question, who am I? Who am I with these people? Especially if it's a group of people that you feel you can relax into, that there's more familiar, how can I say this? There's more like familiar techniques in communicating. And then with another group of people, you may feel like, oh, I've grown past these people, or they're closer to each other than I am to them. Or I don't feel as accepted with these people, or I just feel more different. And so then they will get a different side of you than this other group of people that you may feel more comfortable with and have less self-consciousness around, or social anxiety around. And then the way that we feel inside when we're with certain people oftentimes will tell us, I feel this way inside with these people, so I don't belong here. Either I don't belong here, either it's me or it's them. I just don't like them because of the way that I'm feeling. And then there's another group of people that you feel you resonate more with and you feel a bit more freedom in communicating with. So it's either I like these people because of the way that I feel with them, or I like myself when I'm with these people. So that's where a sense of belonging in socialization comes from the people. So it's how they are, or who they are, or how I feel with them, what they trigger in me, that and how being around them formulates who I'm going to be. So the sense of belonging comes from the people, which on some level is natural, right? Like there's people who have similar knowledge than you, or similar mastery in certain areas, or like they like to geek out on what you like to geek out on. And so, so there's a, I don't know if accuracy is the right word, but there's something that makes sense about, there may be some people that you can like lean into more with what you like to talk about. But when we go but when we start to look at the socialness of your default, that would be how, to ask yourself, how are you compensating for feeling as if in a moment with people where you don't belong or there's no space for you? Are you shutting down? Are you quieting down? Are you judging them? Are you judging yourself? So you're actually socializing more with your trauma inside your head than you are with the other people that you're with physically. Because it's become really even more apparent to me, like, why we socialize during this quarantine time, because people are stepping out and generating ways to connect because we want to be around people. And why do we want to be around people if we are more in communication with our trauma than with the people that we're with? If we're more having an internal dialogue about what's happening and how we're being and how they're being and how you shouldn't be and how they're better or you're better, why bother if we're gonna be more in dialogue with ourselves and our trauma than with the people that we're with? I think why bother, because underneath all of that is our pure, innocent desire to just connect and be with people. But if we want to be with people just because we can't be alone, then it's more important, I think, to first be able to be alone. So that would be to be able to socialize with yourself. Hang with yourself, enjoy yourself. And then once you're with people, you are a sovereign being with other people. And you can play and you can share ideas and you can joke and tease and have more freedom when you're more in communication with the people that you're with than your ego or your trauma or your default. And this is a wonderful, amazing time to actually learn to be alone, to actually socialize with yourself. And the reason why that's hard also is because when people are alone, they're not socializing with their true nature, they're socializing with their default, which is the same thing they're socializing with when they're with people, Their thoughts, their depressive thoughts, their anxiety about the future, their judgments and evaluations about themselves and where they should be in life, and am I recording? Those are macro judgments, like where am I going? What am I doing with my life? I'm fucking up. I fucked up my future. I fucked up my past. And then there's the micro anxiety thoughts about just a consistent judgment of lack. And it's also a consistent inner judgment of what people have done to us. So it's what I've done to myself with the lack, and then it's what people have done to us. Physical judgment, all of this, connecting way back to, for most of us, ages 0 to 8, when our self-identity, our somatic system, our nervous system was developing and decisions were locked in about ourselves, about our relationship with ourselves, and about our relationship to other people and who we are in a class system, who we are in tribe. And so a lot of people isolate because they automatically think they know, this is who I am in tribe. This is who I am. I'm less than, or I'm marginalized, or I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to connect, so I will forget about it. I'll just isolate. Or people hate me, or I hate them, or all of this stuff, all of the mental noise where you think you know yourself. You think you know who you are in socialization. And then there's the overcompensators, right? There's the talk more, listen less people. because that's another way of completely ignoring one's inner world when they're with people. Just talk more, relate, connect, yes, say yes, tell stories, all of that stuff. And, not that is a personality trait distinct only to people who have unhealed trauma. There's certainly people who are naturally more engaged, and it's beautiful, and it comes from a healthy place. But we just want to keep looking at how are we overcompensating for not noticing, for ignoring that we're having a particular experience. We're ignoring it outwardly. So we're trying to act like we're not having the experience inwardly that we're having. And then inwardly, we're having this whole entire war within ourselves when we're with other people. Once one develops a relationship with self, can really sit in sovereignty, which was our most recent masterclass in the Facebook group. Go ahead and watch it. It was the Trauma to Truth Masterclass Part 3 on independence and sovereignty. And once one is a sovereign being, then there's actually nothing to manage and handle over here when you're with people. All it is outward connection. Outward connection. Belonging is granted. Safety is granted. And you're actually enjoying yourself as much as you're enjoying other people. The experience over here is just as cool, grounded, regulated, and connected than it is over there with you and other people. And so that's sort of actually an overview and introduction to our next masterclass in the Trust Yourself Facebook group, free and live. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is the Trauma to Truth Masterclass Part 4 on socializing. All right, everybody. Happy Friday. Have an awesome weekend. Happy healing. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. Please take your immune boosters. Keep yourself super strong and healthy, and exercise. And see you next week. Happy healing. You are awesome, and life is now. Bye. Here's an idea that I left out or overlooked, which is another reflection or interpretation or experience that my clients have been sharing with me about their experience having all of these meetings online. Is sort of the opposite of what I said earlier, which is that some of them actually feel a little bit more self-conscious, because they're having the experience of being seen. Oh, my face is on the screen. People can see me. And it's an interesting illusion for some of us of socializing, because we somehow think we can put some sort of invisible screen over us, or that we have the ability to be seen or not seen to the extent to which we think we're in our power. We can be seen or not seen. But you're there. You're always there. But then all this computer socializing is oh my God, my face is fully on the screen. And then we can see ourselves in the screen as well. So that gives us sort of it's magnified how much I'm seeing myself. Other people are seeing me. And we see you. What is your relationship to being seen? And I don't mean ontologically, emotionally, psychologically. I mean actually physically. What is your relationship to people looking at you? It's a whole nother element of socializing is how much you're trying to make yourself invisible, or how much you're trying to make yourself apparent. How much you're maybe hiding one part of yourself but then exposing another part of yourself, when in reality you are just seen. People just see you. They're looking at you. And we can manage that and try to manage how viewable we are, but in reality we just are. We're just here. Physically. We're looking at each other. That's it. We can see everybody's faces. Okay, wanted to throw in that last little bit there. Thanks again for listening to my thoughts and ideas. Happy Friday. You are awesome. Life is now. Bye again. another thought about how much keeping the peace affects also the way in which we socialize. Like, what was our role in our children when we were children? What was our role in the family? Everybody sort of has a different role in how they keep the peace, also known as the safety in your holding environment when you were growing up. So whatever your relationship to keeping the peace and not upsetting others, whatever your relationship to that is, also impacts how you operate and the role you play and the level to which you express or not express when socializing. So what is your relationship with and how much you feel it's your responsibility to keep the peace? All right, I think I'm permanently signing off. I think those are all my thoughts. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.